I'm the Rules Girl, and this is Plunder, a pirate-themed family strategy game for 2 to 6 players. In Plunder, players sail their fleets around the map, battling, trading, and hunting for treasure. The goal of the game is to win, and you win by being the first captain to earn 10 Plunder points, typically earned by controlling ships, islands, and treasure. Players start their turn by drawing one resource card from the face-down deck for each island they own. Resource cards are used for building and upgrading ships. Players can build at any point during their turn and build multiple times. Next, the player rolls the sailing die and moves their ships that number of spaces. The number can be split among the ships in their fleet. Ships must move horizontally or vertically and cannot move through other ships or islands. Each ship can move an extra space for each mast it has. During their turn, players can conduct multiple interactions. Players can attack and conquer Skull Islands. To attack an island, roll a die and add the number of cannons on the ship to the total. Have another player, either the current owner of the island or the player to the left, roll a die and add the number of skull icons to the total. The highest total wins the battle. If there's a tie, the attacker wins. If the ship wins, they place their flag on the island to show ownership. An island can only be owned by one player at a time. If the ship loses, remove one life peg from the ship. If the ship ever loses its last life peg, it sinks and is removed from the board. Players can also battle an enemy ship if they're next to it. Battling works the same way as conquering an island. Keep in mind that while attacking does not end a player's turn, the same ship may not attack the same island or enemy ship more than once per turn. Players may also trade resources when they're next to each other or at a player's port. Additionally, any player at a merchant island may trade with anyone, and vice versa. Once a trade has been made, those players may not harm each other for the remainder of the turn. Players may also hunt for treasure. If the ship ever sails over an X marks the spot, or sails next to an island with an X marks the spot, draw a treasure card, read it out loud, and immediately do what the card instructs. Place the X in a new location using the compass spinners. Be wary of the storm. If when rolling the sailing die, the player rolls a 1, they must spin the compasses to determine where the storm is placed. Players can become trapped inside the storm. To cross the storm's border costs the player 2 resource cards. Additionally, islands in the storm cannot provide resources if every port is covered. Trades and battles cannot be completed across the storm's border, and neither can treasure hunting. If all tokens and ships are in the storm, interactions can be completed as normal. If a player loses all their ships, don't worry. They start each turn by rolling 2 dice, and if they ever get doubles, they gain a new ship. There are a couple of other ways a player can gain a new ship as well, listed here. The goal of the game is to be the first captain to earn 10 plunder points. Every ship in your fleet is worth 1 point. Every island you own is worth 1 point. If you sink an enemy ship in battle, gain a plunder point card. If you exchange 5 gold resource cards, which is known as burying treasure, gain a plunder point card. And finally, sometimes a treasure card might award you a plunder point card. Your point total for ships and islands will fluctuate throughout the game, but plunder point cards are permanent. Ready to play? Each player selects the color of ships and flags they want. Spin the compasses to determine the location of 3 X's on the board. Determine the placement of the storm by spinning the compasses, placing the center of the storm on the specific coordinate. Each player chooses one island to start from and own. Place a flag on the island and place a ship at the island's port with 3 life pegs. Finally, shuffle the resource deck and deal each player 3 cards. You are now ready to play. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking it and subscribing to The Rules Girl for more rules videos.